Hi, I'm Emily Kaufman, the travel mom, and here we are with another travel talk. So we first came to know my guest today through Saved by the Bell, Beverly Hills 90210, and it's been such a pleasure to watch as her life evolved and her career evolved where she is now. She's a TV cook, she's a mom, she's a wife. I'm so excited to welcome Tiffani Thiessen. Hey, Tiffani.
Hi, sweetheart. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Tiffani, where are you today?
I'm at home, of course, where we all are right now, right? I'm at home and I'm actually in my living room, which tends to be the quieter place generally during the day. The kids are actually outside playing with my husband right now, so.
So you mentioned that your kids are outside playing right now. The kids are home and you're keeping busy with them. I've seen your husband on Instagram. He's posting some great activities. You want to talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, he's been doing kind of a cute little fun challenge for himself, but also enjoyable to watch for an audience. My husband is an artist. He actually published a children's book last year we did together called You're Missing It with Penguin Random House. And funny enough, it's still kind of almost very relevant to what's happening right now in our world. But anyway, so every day he's actually challenging himself to draw something in 30 seconds and getting people to send him ideas on what to draw.
That's a cool thing. I've seen your kids involved with that as well. I know your kids are your number one priority. I'm wondering, when it comes to travel and your kids, have you vacationed anywhere with the kids that you found particularly memorable?
Oh gosh. Yeah, I mean, I think travel is such a thing that is very important to our family. I mean, I traveled a lot when I was younger. I remember the road trips being almost informative. Like it kind of developed who I really am today. Taking those road trips, learning how to travel with my two brothers in the backseat of my tiny little car with my family and sharing, whether it's a hotel room or, or a cabin or something, but also just being able to kind of experience somewhere else. I mean, you tend to sometimes feel a little sheltered, hence what we're doing right now, but really being able to kind of get out and see how people do it in another state or another country. I think it really is a great kind of lesson in life, really. And it's something you can't learn just from reading about a place until you, in my opinion, until you really experience the place.
It's interesting that you say that. One of my favorite things about travel is actually walking through history about places that I've read about before or learned about in school. So I think that's a really cool thing to marry an educational experience into your family vacation. So when the time is right and all of this is over, is there anywhere that you think you might like to visit with your kids?
Well, funny enough, I was actually going to have my very first overseas girls trip with my daughter this year. She turns 10 this summer, which of course is not going to happen. But I was going to take her to Paris. She was actually really wanting to go to France. She's studied about it a little bit in school, and we started taking online French classes a little bit. We just started. And so it was kind of a place that we were going to do a little girls trip for her 10th birthday. So that was definitely, it's still of course going to be on the list, but we might just have to do it a little bit later. Europe is one of those places that I definitely would love to take our children. My husband and I actually just went last May, I should say, for a friend's wedding. And we ended up staying an extra amount of time since we were there. And we went all through Italy, and we just had one of the most amazing trips that we hadn't done as a couple in a very long time since we'd had kids.
Well, I think what you just said could be very inspirational, and people could take that about you were doing French classes together to prepare. While you're home now and you're dreaming about someplace you might want to go, getting your kids involved in learning a language could be a really cool project to do with your kids. I think that's great information. You said that you went to Europe with your husband last year. I know you cook and you've hosted your own cooking show. I see your posts about cooking. How'd you find the food in Europe?
Oh, amazing. I mean, we were in Italy, of course, so you can't go wrong in Italy. I was in heaven with the wine and the cheese, and I mean, all of it. I was absolutely in heaven. And thankfully, we walked a lot because I was definitely enjoying the calories for sure.
Well, I think that's part of the Europe. I mean, as far as I know, as the travel mom, calories that you consume on vacation don't count.
They do not count. I agree.
I think that you're safe. So when you were younger and you were part of Beverly Hills 90210 and Saved by the Bell, did you have to travel at all for those programs?
We didn't so much for actually shooting the show, but my very first trip to Europe was actually to go with my co-star Mark Paul Gosselaar, and it was just at the very beginning of when Saved by the Bell was actually in syndication overseas, and it became kind of a big hit in all over Europe. And so the network spent the money to send the two of us over there, and we toured all through a lot of the big cities in Europe. And that was when, I mean, truly, like I go back to that conversation we were having 2 seconds ago, is that it was so impactful to me that I look back and knowing that I got to experience that and really get to experience the food and all that really plays my role into what I'm doing now. My love of food really kind of started, at least, you know, internationally, really, when I got to take that trip. And so it was huge. I mean, I had one of the most memorable trips, and that was when I was like 16 years old.
Well, I believe travel is a great teacher. There's a transformative power in travel where you discover things, you've stepped out of your comfort zone, you're having new experiences, and that passion has led you to what you enjoy right now. I can't even begin to tell you, once I told people that I was going to be talking with you about Travel Talk, the number of my male friends that reached out to me and told me that they were envious because you were their teenage crush. So,
so many years ago.
not that long ago. They're all doing it, and you are as beautiful today as you were then, and inside and out. I'm grateful that you took the time to talk with me. I hope you continue to stay safe and healthy.
Thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you for having me. You too. Lots of love.
Okay, thanks. Bye, Tiffani.
Bye.